Hey visionaries, my name is Tim, and today I wanted to give you a first look at the Alight Motion iOS beta app. I know Alight Motion is something a lot of iPhone users have been anxious to get their hands on, so I wanted to give you a look at this early version of the app. And I thought, what better way to demonstrate the app's capabilities than to try making an iPhone on the iPhone using Alight Motion's faux 3D effects. So here's what I did. First, I took about a 45-second recording of my iPhone's screen. I wanted to show the Alight Motion app opening up on the iPhone in the animation. Next, I went into Alight Motion to create the front face of my iPhone. I made the project with a custom resolution of 1080 by 2320, which will fit my screen recording while adding 200 pixels to the top and bottom. I have an iPhone 7, so I decided to stick with that model for my design. I chose a black background and tapped Create. I tapped the plus icon to bring in my screen recording. The extra black above and below the screen are for the top and bottom areas of the phone, where the home button and speaker are located. To create the button, I'll tap the plus icon and add a circle shape. I'll change the fill color to a dark gray. For organization, I'll name the layer Button. Then I'll go to the end of my project and extend the length of the button layer to match the length of the screen recording. Then I'll jump back to the beginning of the timeline and duplicate the layer. I'll make the fill color on the new copy black. Then slide the black copy up just a little to reveal the bottom of the gray copy. This will form the highlight defining the edge of the home button. I'll long press the tabs on the left side of the layers and add them to a group. Then I'll adjust the position and scale of the group until it looks similar to the home button on my iPhone. I will rename the group to Button as well. Next, I want to do the same thing for the speaker at the top of the iPhone. This time I will start with a rounded rectangle shape. I will rename it Speaker. And change the color to dark gray. Then I need to tap Edit Shape. Here I can extend the length on the x-axis. And reduce the height on the y-axis. Finally, I will crank up the radius to about 200. I need to extend the layer to the end of my project. And then make a duplicate layer. Change the new copy to black. And offset the position to reveal the bottom edge of the shape below. Then I'll group these two layers and move them into place so they match the size and position of the speaker on the iPhone. Once I like the look, I'll export the front face of my iPhone to use in another project. I probably could have done all of this in one project, but it seems simpler to handle this separately first. Now I'll work on my main composition. This time I will choose a 16:9 project and tap Create. First, I'll add a rectangle to use as a background. Using the menu, I will stretch the layer to fill the screen. Then I will increase the scale by a couple more pixels to make sure it extends beyond the borders of the frame. Next, I'll tap Color and Fill and choose a gradient for the background. I can label this layer BG for background. Next, I want to tap the plus icon and import my video of the phone's front face. The video is longer than my background layer, so I will extend my background to the same length. I'll label the video layer Screen. Then I want to scale this down a bit to give us some room to work. Next, I'll tap Effects, scroll over to the 3D column, and choose Box. Things don't look great right away, but we'll get there. First, scroll down to the texture mapping options and turn on Stretch. Then scroll back up to the width and increase the width to the original proportions. Next, I'm going to change the orientation on the Y-axis so you can see the 3D effect. I want to reduce the depth all the way down on this layer. That affected the overall size appearance, so I can compensate by increasing the scale. And as you can see, there's a little shine on the screen. I like the shine, but I want to make sure it doesn't obscure the screen while the app opens, so I'm going to shift the direction slider. Then I'll check that by moving the orientation again. And there's still some glare, so I'm going to move the direction again. Ultimately, I want the phone to settle into this angled position with a clear screen. Now I need to scrub through the timeline and find the place where the Alight Motion app opens on the screen. That's where I want my animation to end. Then I'll set a keyframe and go back to the beginning of the timeline. Here I'll rotate the phone to the opposite direction. I can preview that animation by scrubbing through the timeline. I like that animation, so now I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'll name this new layer Phone. I will change the fill on the layer from a video to the color black. Then open the box effect and increase the width to create the bezel on the phone. And I'll increase the height the same way. Now I want to scrub through the timeline a bit until I can get a better look at the edge of the phone. Then I'll increase the depth until the layer looks like the thickness of an iPhone. Scrubbing back to the front of the phone, we can see that it's looking a little boxy. To fix that, I'll increase the smoothing. As the smoothing cuts into the layer, I'm noticing that I need to increase the height and width even more. Just play with the sliders until you're happy with the look of your iPhone. Let's play that through and see what we've got. So I hope you've enjoyed this sneak preview of the incredible things to come in the Alight Motion iPhone app. Thanks for watching.